Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is a fun day because it is a gorgeous blue sky day here in North Carolina. It is quite chilly though. And yes, it is the end of February, and yes, I am going to be planting 400 daffodil bulbs in the ground. I know, y'all, this should have been done months ago. But you know what? There is grace in gardening. So we're going to plant 400 daffodils. We are also going to take care and clean up this flower bed behind the garden shed. Talk about what we're going to do looking forward to spring and summer in this bed. So we're just spending a nice day here in the garden. No. Let me explain to you why I am so late in planting these bulbs and what they are, because oh my gosh, they are heirloom varieties of daffodils that thrive both in the south and the west. So excited about this. So as you know, we had a very what would you call it? I don't even know. Very intense season in the fall of planting. We planted over 10,000 spring flowering bulbs, including tulips and daffodils and crocus and wood hyacinths and I mean tons, alliums, like tons of things. And the sweet friends at Color Blends, because that is where I get all of my bulbs from, they contacted me and they're like, hey, we love what you're doing. We love your videos. We love your content. We would like to send you some bulbs if you would like them. And Jenny is never one to turn down great plants or bulbs that our friends are going to send us. So I said, absolutely. I said, if you can just wait till after Christmas, because we're going to go on vacation. We went to Florida before Christmas. I said, if you can wait and send it to me, then I can get them in the ground. Well, here we are 2 months later. Sorry, friends at Color Blends. And they're still not in the ground. Today is the day we're going to do it. So let's talk about what we're going to do and why it is okay for me still to plant them. We do have 3 different varieties here. We have these two, we have 100 of each of these two, and then we have another variety that we have 200 of. So let's go through and just kind of look at them, and let me show you how I know that it's still okay to plant them. First of all, let's talk about the varieties. So here we have the, let's see if I can get the tag here for you, the Grand, I don't know, Soleil d'Or. Sure, we'll go with that one. So this one is going to be yellow with orange, and it is going to be in that an early bloomer, 16 to 18 inches tall. Again, all 3 of these are heirloom varieties, very old-timey, and they are fragrant. How much do we love that? So fantastic. Now, the reason that I know that these are okay to plant, yes, they have started to sprout. These have been hanging out in the garage ever since they arrived. So they have been in a cool, dry, protected area. We have had crazy temperatures down to the teens. In fact, this morning was like 16, but because they're in that enclosed garage, they never froze. So that is key. Also, what I see and what I feel on the bulb is telling me that they're okay. See, look, I am squeezing that really hard, y'all. They are not smushy. So the bulbs are not smushy. Yes, they are sprouting. It is okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plant these. We only plant them 6 inches deep because as Color Blends, I love it that they tell you like the specifications right there on the tag, so you don't have to go back and look it up for each one. Plant them 6 inches deep. I have got my 9-inch auger. I'm going to put multiple bulbs in holes and just make like kind of that mass planting. Now, I am very late in planting these, really late. I have daffodils that are coming up here in the flower bed. These will be perennials for me. So they're going to come back every year, bigger and better. So if I don't get the best flush of flowers this year, that's okay. It is totally my fault. It is not the plant's fault. It is the gardener's fault. I am planting for longevity. The bulbs are still quite happy. They're very healthy. They're going to go in the ground. They may still put on an absolutely stunning show. Maybe it's just delayed, all right? So that's the thing is, as long as they're not smushy and shriveled up, then you are good to go ahead and plant them. All right, we also have Avalanche. Avalanche is going to be white with a soft yellow. Again, this is going to be an early to mid. So I love that these 3 are going to have a little bit of a different bloom time on them. And a lot of these have, they're those clusters. I think all 3 of them are. They're not going to be the single big, huge cups on them. They're going to have multiple flowers on a stem. And then we have Grand Primo. Grand Primo is white with pale yellow, very early, again, 16 to 18 inches. So we have 200 of these guys. They're actually going to go in the flower bed here behind the garden shed. The other two I am going to space out in this bed right here. This is the bed that has phantom hydrangeas and then the Amsonia. This is that Amsonia hubrichtii, that native Amsonia. So you can see kind of where Brenna is where it starts, the Amsonia, and then it comes down. Because these are such early bloomers, I have got tons of room that I can plant all the way in here, this whole path right here, and then even in front of the Amsonia. The key with your daffodils, your jonquils, I grew up calling them jonquils. That's what Mama always called them. And here in the South, we really want to have that jonquilla breeding in there, that line, because they do really well in the South. They are early bloomers, and you need to leave the foliage after they bloom. You don't want to tie it up. You don't want to chop it off, because that's the way that the bulb is storing energy for next season. So as my daffodils kind of fade away, the other plants are going to take over, right? So my Amsonia is going to be waking up, and then as that foliage is dying back, Amsonia comes up and kind of hides that, maybe that not so attractive foliage in there. So that is what we are going to do first. We got to get these guys planted. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come around here and show a little attention and love to this space. What I need to do is come in, because my eyeliner irises, they still have their debris, so their old foliage, obviously the freeze has gotten it really well, clean that up. I have a star magnolia tree right here. You can see it's covered in buds. Not going to do a thing to her other than fertilizer. She has buds. We're leaving her alone. Hopefully she will bloom here in the coming weeks and be beautiful. We have got the Cherry Royale butterfly bushes right here. We want to prune butterfly bushes, but I am still going to wait. You want to wait until your butterfly bushes start pushing out new growth before you prune them. And we still have such erratic weather that I don't want to prune these back. When I say we have erratic weather, yesterday it was snowing. Then the sun came out, melted all the snow. The cold air came in. It was like 16 last night. I think it's going to be like 15, 14 tonight, and then in 2 days it's going to be like 70 degrees. Welcome to late winter, early spring here in the South. That's what we have, folks. So I'm going to wait a little bit on the butterfly bushes to prune it. That'll happen at a later date. And then what we're also going to do is go ahead and trim the roses of Sharon, or rose of Sharons. I don't know how the plurality of that. This is the Polly Petite. Polly Petite is a nice little short little sweet little thing, and she only gets to be like 3 feet tall. But it is a rose of Sharon. It does bloom on new growth, so we need to prune it. So we're going to do that, and then we have 2 chiffons right here. We're going to prune those, and finally we are going to take off, bring down the dead debris of the climbing sweet potato vine. Yes, we are. Now, the Grand Primo, the 200 jonquils that I have, they are going to go in this bed. So I have got lots of room. I've got a huge pocket right here, and I'm just going to kind of tuck them in different areas. I don't know. We'll see how much if I put them behind the star magnolia, because I do have some salvias back there, but I have got lots of room to bring those in and just fill in this area with those 200 of the Grand Primo daffodils. Very, very exciting. So that's what we're going to do first, is get the 400 bulbs in the ground. Excuse me, I have, like I said, my 9-inch power planter auger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just section at a time, thinking of each bulb at a time. I'm going to probably dig all my holes, get the plants in there. I do have the biotone, so we're going to, because I always use biotone, especially since these are perennials. I want them to have nice, strong root growth, and I'm late putting them in, so we're going to get nice, strong roots on them. Also, before we put this bed to rest, everybody's going to get fertilizer. So I've got all my tones available, and then Jackson brought me a pallet of the Daddy Pete soil enhancer. So this is going to be our mulch. That will be the last thing we do. Everybody gets a nice blanket of fresh mulch. We mulch really one time a year, and so this is a great time to do it. So yeah, it's going to be a great productive day here in the garden. Late February, planting daffodils. Why not? Grace and gardening, my friends. My friends, we have gotten a lot of good work done. Jackson is now helping me. We are going to start laying out the mulch. So let's go over what we have done, and I still need to prune our rows of Sharons, so I'm gonna share with you how easy it is to do that. All right, 400 daffodils have been planted in this back bed, the garden shed bed, basically from where behind Brent is the Daddy Pete, all the way in little pockets, right? So we did little pockets everywhere of the Grand Primo daffodil in here. Really got nice and heavy up around the bird bath, all around in front of the irises, behind and around this first little poly petite right here. And then I did leave a path. So there's no daffodils planted here and then to the back. But then here, in this section, there's a bunch of them. There's close to, it was almost 100 of them were like right in here. So just really filled in that little area. Will be so pretty right there. With the irises, this is the eyeliner iris from Walter's Gardens. They sent it to me last year to try out, and I have 2 here, and then I have 3 on this side of the bird bath. And man, they loved this spot. They were just phenomenal. I only got 1 bloom off of them last year because, you know, they were little, but I got massive growth. So this year I expect to have tons of flowers on them. And all I did was just kind of rake up. The foliage didn't really pull off of it. So I just kind of gathered it up like a ponytail and then just snipped it back, right? Very easy on that. Super easy to take off the climbing sweet potato vine off of the chicken wire there. Remember, this used to be our chicken coop. And so this was the coop, and then this was the run, and it extended out further. So that's why we had the chicken wire here, is because this really was for chickens. And that upside key lime sweet potato vine is a great way to cover that. And so I only used 4 grandes last year. I put 2 on each panel, and to say that it was highly vigorous is an absolute understatement. So while I'm waiting for my chiffon rows of Sharons to really mature, and because they'll get nice and big, I will continue to use that climbing sweet potato vine there for quite a few more years. And it's that beautiful chartreuse color. So man, it just stands out and does a great job. So we got the 200 primos in here, using that 9-inch auger and doing that 1 hole. I think it was 6 bulbs per hole. And that's probably overpacking it, but y'all, they'll be fine. I don't care. I'm not digging a gazillion, mazillion holes. And so Grace and gardening, they will be fine and they will be beautiful. Again, they will be perennials for us, so we love that. Everything has gotten fertilized. If you don't have anything but one fertilizer, use plant tone. And so I just have a nice little Tupperware container, and then I just scoop it and then shake around. You can see with this Poly Petite, I just shake around it. I'm not going to worry about raking it in because we have the mulch that's going to go on top. So plant tone, basically with everybody. I did have some holly tone. So these are Oakland hollies. They are great. Very happy. The only time I've had to prune it was, I think I had to top it off right here just last year, but nice and thick. So they got a nice healthy dose of holly tone, feed them really well. And then my phantom hydrangeas, ideally they would get the rose tone, and the first two got rose tone, and then I ran out, and then everybody else got plant tone. Again, my friends, grace and gardening, use what you got. I even shook some over on top of the Amsonia, so everybody is being fed. Now, what Jackson's doing, bless his sweet little heart, helping his mama, is we're putting out the Daddy Peat. So we're using the Daddy Peat as our mulch for this year, because remember we were just over here in the Emperor 1 bed. To give you a reference, if you're not familiar with where we are, I'll show you how everything is really connected right here. But this is that same mulch that we used in the Emperor 1 bed just the other day. And so it's just aged pine bark, right? So when we have clay soil, this is a great way to amend the soil, and particularly in this bed right here underneath that maple, it is really red clay. We had amended behind the garden shed with our Creekside compost blend, so that's nice and rich. But you can see this is what it looks like once it all goes down, and then we had done it the same thing in the flower bed underneath the forest pansy. So it'll get a little bit blonder. That's right, okay, because remember again, this bed is filled with perennials. So in the summertime, you're not going to see any of this. Like, it is going to go completely away. But using that Daddy Peat soil enhancer is a great way to reduce your weeds, reduce erosion, amend that clay soil, insulate your plants, and it is fantastic. So, Sweet Thing just walked up too, so I might enlist him. He says no. We'll see. He is Sweet Thing, so he might do it for me. Maybe he'll cut backs. He'll do something. He'll encourage us if nothing else, but he says no, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna get, I gotta prune my roses of Sharon. So I'll show you that, super, super easy. All right, so here we go. Here we have our sweet little Poly Petite, right? Really cute. Now, I know that this is a small shrub. I get asked this all the time when I talk about pruning shrubs, and some people go, well, I just planted it last year, or it's really small, or do I still have to prune it? If it blooms on new growth, then yes, you want to prune it. This is, I don't know, maybe 2 feet tall at the absolute most right now. Now, am I going to cut it all the way down here to the ground? Absolutely not. But just pruning it just a little bit. And I'm talking about maybe, is that 3 inches off of it right there? Then that's what I'm going to do. So I don't know, hopefully the camera will show you, but there are these little swells right here. Those are the little leaf swells. Ideally, if you can prune right above that, then that's what we want to do. So you take your Felcos, your clippers, whichever ones you have, right here, and you just snip. Can you see how pretty and green that is? That means it's alive. So we just come in here and we're just snipping just a little bit, and we're going to snip every single stem. Now that one might be dead because it's kind of hard to tell, but it's more brown inside and it's felt very crunchy. So could be. And then this one got broken off, so not a big deal. And then we have this one, snip, 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 and that's it. Simple as that. So do it with your Poly Petites and then the chiffons right here. We're going to do it with that. So even if the plant is still small, you do want to prune it. So if it's a rose that's, you know, a new rose, or if it's a new panicle hydrangea or a spirea or whatever, because people always ask, well, I just planted it in the fall. I just planted these in the fall too. Yes. Again, even if you're only taking off 1 inch, you're encouraging it to branch, get nice and thick and tight, and of course encouraging those flowers. So I've got just those other 3 to do. then we can really get onto this mulch and get it done. And then we'll be done for the day. Ah, yay. Ta-da! My friends, it is done. And man, it feels great to have this done. This whole area is starting to get ready for spring. It is winterized, ready for spring. Maybe I need to say springerized. Instead of winterized, I can be springerized. I'm springerizing my flower beds. But yeah, 400 daffodils in here. Oh, I really do hope that they bloom this year. I don't know why they shouldn't, but I hope they do, because it will be glorious. And then putting the mulch on top, I mean, I'm telling you, for ladies, you'll understand this. It's like the lipstick, the earrings, the accessory, the cherry on the top that just makes the bed look so much better. And yeah, having it done makes me happy. Those, I didn't talk about this, but these phantom hydrangeas, of course, are panicle hydrangeas. The other day when I was in here just piddling around in the garden, I did go ahead and prune them back. So they have already been pruned, so I don't need to worry about that. But just knowing that in this space that there's 200 daffodils lying in wait to come up just makes me so happy. And then of course the Oakland hollies are great, doing wonderful. Got a nice good dose of holly tone. Just, you know, going in there and, just shake it in there, y'all. Don't have to overthink it too much. And then knowing that as we come around to the back side, that there is a whole nother set of 200 daffodils in here. Having that heirloom variety is just so cool. Making them have a fragrance is also lovely. And then, of course, for me, with in North Carolina, a zone 8A, having them just thrive in my southern conditions, perfect. So a huge thank you to our friends at Color Blends for sending us those bulbs. I mean, it is just wonderful. So again, huge thank you to our sweet friends at Color Blends. We certainly love your products, and you just do great. So those of you that want to either add, whether it's tulips or daffodils or alliums or whatever kind of spring flowering bulb that you're really interested in, if you go to Color Blends right now, you're going to be disappointed because you're like, oh my gosh, Jenny, they're sold out of everything. Right, this is their off season. They will reopen their website. It may say on their website, I haven't looked, but typically I want to say it's in like late spring that they reopen and begin taking orders for fall delivery. So the early bird gets the worm. I am already thinking, like when I was planting my tulips this year, I was making notes of what I want to do for next year and my numbers, if I need to adjust numbers on certain areas. And then that way, once they open up the ordering, I go ahead and place my order. I place it in that springtime, and then when it's appropriate for my growing zone, they will send it to me. If you're interested in them pre-chilling your bulbs, again, being in the South, my tulips have to be pre-chilled, otherwise they're just not going to bloom well. I believe there is a minimum of how many they will pre-chill them for you. All the information will be on their website if you want to have your bulbs pre-chilled. It is a very, very reasonable fee. So they will pre-chill them for you, and then once that chill period is up, they'll send it to you. So like for me, I didn't get mine until like the 1st of December, which was perfect. They come and you get them straight in the ground. You don't have to worry about them. But yeah, so just kind of think about that. Start shopping on their website as far as like making your wish list and your thoughts. She's done, y'all. it's just nice. It's all neat, it's tidy. I'm all about neat and tidy right now. That is the name of the game for sure. It is going to be beautiful come summertime, having, of course, the magenta. I believe this is like the dark purple. I have to go back and look, but it's the chiffon series of, they're both the same right here, having that chartreuse green sweet potato vine right there, the Polly Petite, all the daffodils. And then in the summertime, I am, well, for summer gardens, I'm gonna plant them in the spring, but all along the base right here, I'm gonna have the new Mojave Mango Portulaca, which is gonna be really fun. And then back here in the back, up to close to the garden shed, we're gonna have our Cleome. I've got both Rosalita and Blanca. I may mix them, I may use one, I may use the other. If I use just one, it would be Rosalita because it's pink and it would stand out more against, but I may actually mix them, I don't know. So we'll just see about that. And a quick update, we planted, oh gosh, was that a month, 6 weeks ago? I don't remember now when it was. Came back through here and we planted a bunch of the Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia and then the evergreen candy tuft down through here, and everybody is doing really, really well. The Euphorbia already has new growth on it. So all of this down here is new growth. And as I was working, I could smell it. I personally love the smell of the Ascot Rainbow because it has a very kind of like a musky scent to it, and I personally just like it. And then the candy tuft is doing well. I know it's leggy. I could cut it back. I may cut it back. I don't know, but she's already starting to bloom, right? So I know she's spindly. They were spindly when I put in, but you know what? They're happy. They're healthy. So right now that is okay. So we are doing good, my friends. All right, it has been a great day here in the garden. I couldn't have done it without my main guy, Jackson. We joke, and I'm like, I don't know about if you have teenage kids or teenagers in your life, if they ever like get a hold of your phone. So my girls got hold of my phone, this was probably at least a year ago, and they changed their names in my phone. So Emily is my favorite child. Megan is the best child. And then Jackson, we joke, he hasn't changed his name, but I say he's the best son. And he laughs and he's like, Mama, I'm your only son. And I'm like, well, there you go. You're my best son. So anyway, just random side note on that. All right, y'all, it's Friday afternoon. Glorious, beautiful day. Been very productive in the garden. It feels great. We're gonna go have tacos for supper. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, friends.